You are listening to the Nature's Premier Podcast, Episode 8. Here on the Nature's Premier Podcast, we talk about everything from bees to babies and sustainable living. Join us while we talk about natural parenting and different ways to live a more sustainable lifestyle for ourselves and our future generations to come. Now let's begin. Welcome back to the Nature's Premier Podcast. I am your host, Brooke Nichols, and I am so excited to be here with you all today. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about Meatless Mondays. You have probably heard of this phrase before, but if you didn't already know, it actually started as a health awareness campaign that has been gaining steam since its reintroduction in the media. There are so many benefits of adopting a Meatless Monday approach, so if you know anyone that can use this information and definitely benefit from it, please do share it with your friends or family. It really helps get the message out to those who can use this information. So, Meatless Mondays, if you guys didn't already know, has been around for a long time, way before the coined term we know it as today. As stated on meatlessmonday.com, the official website for this movement, during World War I, the U.S. Food Administration urged families to reduce their consumption of key staples to help aid the war effort. Food will win the war, the government proclaimed, and Meatless Monday and Wheatless Wednesdays were introduced to encourage Americans to do their part. The effect was overwhelming. More than 13 million families signed to pledge and observe the National Meatless and Wheatless Conservation Days. Now, to be honest, Wheatless Wednesdays is really uncommon. You don't hear about that pretty much at all anymore, but Meatless Mondays has only grown and is now a movement that is practiced across the states and the world. Meatless Mondays was reintroduced back in 2003 by health advocate Sid Lerner in association with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health Center for a Livable Future. It started as a public health awareness campaign addressing the prevalence of many preventable illnesses associated with excessive meat consumption. The average American eats far more than generations in the past, so this was a way for Americans to kick meat once a week to help benefit their lives and the environment. It's a very practical way to instill more healthy eating habits into your diet, especially in the diet of your children, since they are, like little sponges and they pretty much carry these habits throughout the rest of their life. So it's kind of establishing, a great building block towards a healthier eating habit and lifestyle in the future. It's also such an easy way to add more greens to your diet without feeling deprived and still getting some of the benefits that full plant-based diets offer. Just reducing your meat consumption one day a week can make a huge environmental and health impact in your life. And many are seeing that, which is why Meatless Mondays does have such a high success rate. Meatless Mondays is now a global movement. Many schools, work sites, hospitals, restaurants, and families across the world partake in this practice by simply swapping a meat dish for a salad or non-meat entree once a week, preferably Mondays. Being that it's 2017, if you really feel like you need some kind of side, you can certainly use like a mock meat dish. There's a brand called Gardein that creates so many different mock meat options. So if you really don't, you like the comfort of that meat has, you can certainly get like a mock meat dish one day a week, just to help you transition into more of a plant-based whole foods type of, practice for your weekly Meatless Monday diet, so to speak. Statistically, Mondays are considered reset days by many in the health and wellness field. Studies show that Monday is the perfect day to make small positive changes that last, because more individuals are motivated to start the week off in a positive direction. Research also indicates that when you start implementing positive habits and changes in your life and diet on Mondays, you are more than likely to stick to them throughout the week and have a better week overall mentally and physically. Especially like following a weekend where you may have had a cheat day on a Saturday or a Sunday, you went to a party. A lot of people do see, Mondays as like a reset day, especially if you're in your the gym and fitness world. The most important thing is to start slow. Do not go drastic or fast into this, especially if you think it will not last. Slow and steady wins the race, especially in this situation. So take your time and see how you feel reducing your meat consumption one day a week. We think you too will see positive benefits from it. The concept of Meatless Mondays is a very simple approach and can be adopted even by the biggest meat eater. It is not a drastic change in your diet routine, more like a day to cleanse and focus on eating wholesome foods that help you reset you for the week. Even if you wanted to just add water or maybe get like an extra cardio workout in on a Monday, it's just a great day to reset your week and to, spearhead in, your week or your work week or even your personal life and just have a strong, day that would really be the catalyst to have a fantastic week and, beyond. If you cannot jump into cutting meat out for an entire day, we suggest just swapping one meat meal for a plant-based meal. Or even, not reducing your meat consumption at all at first, but adding an extra salad or fruit smoothie to your menu. Meatless Mondays is not some kind of hardcore vegetarian concept. You can go at your own pace. Many are finding, though, by greatly reducing their meat consumption one day a week, for some families taking meat off the menu entirely, has amazing health benefits, especially environmental benefits that everyone can benefit from. So some of the health benefits that we want to touch on are the following. Please note that this is not an extensive list of benefits. There are truly many more, especially for those that have practiced a Meatless Monday approach for more than a few months. At first you might get a little groggy, especially if you start to have Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, taking meat off the menu. Sometimes you deal with detox issues and things like that. But, especially for those that are practicing this long term, they definitely see the health benefits for sure with this type of approach. But what we're going to go over, these are among the biggest benefits of adding a Meatless Monday approach to your week. So one of the huge benefits is improved digestion. Fully breaking down animal proteins takes more of the body's resources than many other foods. It also requires a ton of energy, and if not broken down properly, you can feel sluggish and weighed down for quite a bit, which definitely adds a pretty large ding to your day. Many find that by giving your body's digestion a break and eating easy-to-digest foods, such as leafy greens and fruits, helps them have more energy, lightness, and vitality. So by taking meat off the menu one day a week, you can give your digestive system a rest so it can process your food intake faster and tend to other things your body needs. When your body is tied up digesting food, it is taking energy from other functions in your body, which can certainly slow things down, and you will feel the emotional, toll on that. Another benefit of a Meatless Monday approach and reducing your meat consumption overall is that it helps to reduce heart disease and chances of a stroke. So vegetables, fruits, and whole grains have been shown to protect against cardiovascular disease. One study found that daily servings of fruits and vegetables were associated with a 4% decline in coronary heart disease and a 5% lower risk of stroke. Another study found that a diet of 2.5 or more servings of whole grains per day associated with a 21% lower risk of heart disease, stroke, or fatal cardiovascular disease. So get those greens up and see those benefits to help reduce your chances of getting these, common ailments and diseases. Another benefit is that a Meatless Monday approach helps to prevent diabetes. Diets low in processed meat and high in plant-based foods may reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes. Adding more greens to your diet can help you maintain a healthy weight through a well-balanced diet, which is a key factor in preventing type 2 diabetes. That alone just has so many benefits in itself. Controlling your body weight is really important. It's kind of overlooked, but it's definitely important. And just making small dietary changes, really does help with that. So another benefit is that it helps to lower cancer risk. Studies show that reducing your meat consumption helps to reduce your chances of certain cancers, especially since, vegetables and fruits have high alkalinity. So adding more alkaline fruits and vegetables to your diet will certainly help to reduce your chances of colorectal cancers and the like. So another segment of benefits that come with Meatless Mondays are the environmental impacts. Now, when we did our deforestation episode, we did touch very, very briefly on the effect of, the meat industry and our environment. What's happening with the Amazon rainforest is that these cattle ranchers are either being bought out or they're collaborating and they are literally killing the rainforest. They are mowing down, football fields of rainforest a minute to put these cattle on. So now once you plow everything down, you completely ruin the ecosystem. Now you're putting this cattle there that requires so much grain and so much water per pound of beef. And then you're in turn, slaughtering the cow. Then you're sending the cow to the other side of the world, in America, and these people are starting to get sick from it. I mean, it's really important that, there's a trail, and it's really important that you see, like, from the farm to the plate mentality. You want to see what happens. You want to see the steps that's taken along the way. Now, this is absolutely not at all like anti-meat or anything like that. We're just talking about a Meatless Monday approach, reducing your meat consumption. But this is about being mindful. And I will say, as a long-term vegetarian myself, I do promote small farms. I do promote homesteading and, things of that nature. I think keeping it local, keeping, the environmental impact down is very, very, very important. And I think that's something that needs to be said. So let's just jump real quick into the environmental benefits. And there's many more, just like with the health benefits, but these are a few of the big, heavy hitters, so to speak, that, the benefits that you'll see with reducing your meat consumption or possibly going vegetarian fully. So reducing your meat intake from the jump, it helps to reduce your water usage. The water needs of livestock are much greater than those of vegetables or grains. Over 1,850 gallons of water are needed to produce a single pound of beef, whereas only 39 gallons of water is needed to produce 1 pound of organic vegetables. Now imagine if the nation moved towards a more Meatless Monday approach. We could literally use that water for other resources and other situations that we are in dire need of, such as sending water to drought-ridden areas and to small villages that may not have wells. Water is life. I mean, water is life. And, high meat diets, you are consuming a lot of water. Americans consume over 4 times the amount of animal protein than the global average. A reduced meat diet or vegetarian diet has the capacity to reduce water consumption by up to 58% per person. Now just think about that for a second. In America, we have over 300 million people that live here. If we all, or even like 50% of us, reduced our water intake, that would be such a relief on the resources that we use on our water, on our oceans, on our fresh water. It would be such a massive difference that the rest of the country would just be forced to do it. I mean, we would just have such a positive impact. Now, reducing meat consumption also reduces fuel dependence, something that we really don't think of as a society, where our food comes from, how far it is. I know me in my personal life, I try not to buy, fruits and vegetables that are from, other countries. I think it's important to eat seasonally. We will definitely have a whole podcast episode on that. But reducing meat consumption off the jump helps to reduce fuel dependence, as reducing your water usage. The meat industry uses an extensive amount of energy to produce grain for livestock that, if we use it to feed people following a Meatless Monday or vegetarian diet approach, would be enough to feed about 850 million people across the world. So just let that sink in. I mean, we have starvation issues in other parts of the world. We have villages that, these children do not eat for, days at a time, possibly weeks at a time. Imagine if we took all of that grain and sent it over there. 850 million people. I mean, it's like, it would be almost comical if it wasn't so devastating, just reducing your meat consumption helps to spread those resources to other places. Now, one of the arguments, and we actually had someone, message me about this last night because we talked about this on the Facebook Live, was that, well, if I don't eat the meat, then it's going to get eaten by somebody else anyway, so I might as well eat it, and that's that. And I understand that point of view. I do, and I'm not debating with it. But what I can assure you is that businesses are there to make money, right? So like businesses want to create a product and they want to sell it and they want to make money from it. So if there's no demand, it's all about product and demand. I mean, that's like with any other company, with any other business. If there's a demand for meat, they're going to create more. They're going to make sure there's stock of it. They're going to make sure that they drain more resources to create it. Wherever you are in the business and industry, that's how it works. Now, if there's less and less people, for example, look at the alternative milk companies and things like that. You have, almond milk. You have sunflower milk. You have hemp milk. You have so many different types of milk. I can literally go on and on. Like, you have so many different types of milk. And the dairy industry is taking a hit because people are, a lot of people are lactose intolerant. A lot of people are going towards, non-dairy milk sources. Now, because there is this checks and balances going on in the dairy industry, now there's dairy companies that are literally investing in non-dairy milks. So you have I forgot the name of it, but I know that the Almond Breeze, their company, I think, and I don't want to quote the wrong thing, but either them or another big company, they are, funded by a meat industry. So it's like they're seeing that funds are being taken from the dairy industry to promote the non-dairy industry, and that's where the money's going. So if there's not such a massive demand for meat, then no, that's not true. They're not going to make it anyway. They're not going to waste money and resources when they could just literally pool it and put it into something that will make them money, such as like a company like Gardein and things like that. So it's really important that, we posted this on our Instagram about, never think that like one pebble can't affect an ocean, because it does. The ripples affect the ocean. I mean, it's a great quote. And it's very important to understand that you're never small enough to make a difference. Don't ever underestimate the difference that you can make in your life, regardless of any topic that we are on. One person can change the world. Many people will change the world, but one person has the potential to start the wave and to start the shift, and that's all you need. So when we get questions like that, especially when we talk about a little more of controversial topics such as vegetarian diets and things like that, never think that you can't make one impact, make one difference for somebody or an animal or in the environment, because you can. And we need to think more highly of ourselves, that if you're helping to lighten the load on our environment with these companies, they will listen. They have no choice. It's sink or swim. If they don't listen, they sink. If they listen, they swim. And that's what we're seeing with the milk industries. So again, that's something that is something to take into consideration. Now, we didn't even touch on the effects of young children, reducing their meat consumption, reducing obesity risks, setting them up for a path of healthier eating habits. Eating an alkaline-enriched diet does help to kill candida. I mean, it really goes into so many other things. We have a massive issue with obesity in the country. A lot of people are walking around. I think it's over 60% of people have candida of some form that they don't even know about. So when you eat more alkaline-enriched foods, you are fighting that off to fight the cravings for more sugary treats and things of that nature. So it's very important to instill healthy habits like we all try to do. Meatless Monday approach really is just that. It's literally limiting, your meat consumption on one day. Again, if you can't do it on one day, you can certainly increase your water intake. You can increase your fruit intake. You can eat a salad. Be like, Mondays are my salad days. Even if the rest of the week you eat red meat. Mondays I'm eating salad. Mondays I'm having a fruit smoothie. Mondays I'm going to take a run. Mondays I'm going to drink a gallon of water. Like, Mondays are your reset days. So even if you do not do anything that we're talking about, if you take one day to focus on your health, well-being, your diet, that's going to set you up. That's going to set you up for a healthier future, because, when you have easy to implement practices, then it's easier to stick to. Now, if you were to say, just go jump into being a vegetarian and, just nosedive into it because there's many benefits, that's crazy, and you are not going to see that. And, unfortunately, we see a lot of outlets that promote that, and it's crazy because, come on, we're all humans, we all have our own practices, we all have our own habits. If you're implementing even taking soda out of your diet and adding, water. I talked about, the soda situation. I was a welder for quite a while, and we used to use a very popular bottle of soda to clean the welds, which clean them better than WD-40. So after that, I was like, nope, I nosedive into that and cutting soda out. But it's hard for a lot of people, and it's just very important that whatever you do in your life, you always do it slow and in steps so you're able to attain the results that you want and you're able to stick to it. Because believe me, after a couple months of sticking to a Meatless Monday approach, you very well may cut another day out. You very well may go vegetarian. I mean, there's a lot of things. Hey, you may even start to run a marathon if you're feeling so good and up to it. It's just important that, we take this information and we use it and suit it to us, because one person is not the same as the next. And it's important that you listen to your body. We are not doctors here. We are a diaper service, but we are, just promoting a message that works for many different people. Again, always listen to your body. And just, even if it takes you a year to implement this, even if it takes you 5 years, and you're like, I heard this podcast once of this chick talking about a Meatless Monday thing. Let me try it out. If it hits you at any point in your life, then I did my job. So today we touched on what Meatless Monday is, how it started, and some of the benefits of implementing a Meatless Monday approach into your lifestyle. This is a growing movement, but it's done at your own pace. Listen to your body, and if you feel that cutting out meat entirely one day is too much, then just swap it out for, a meal. Swap out one meal, maybe breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just increase your vegetable and fruit intake. We really do believe that if you started to reduce your meat intake one day a week, that you will see the benefits straight away. Again, we are not doctors, but we're just giving you guys our tips and, feedback on this movement. Again, meatlessmondays.com. Do check them out. They are, a wonderful resource into getting started. And it's something that we think everybody should try at least once to see how they feel. So thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please rate and subscribe to the podcast so more people can tune in and find us. We hope everyone has a great week, and we will check you guys back again on the next episode. Have a great day, friends.